Mark Jackson turned 50 yesterday, and I had to do a video for it. And so I sent something in, and they put a compilation together, I guess, of all of Mark's friends. It probably wasn't a long video if it was all of Mark's friends. So how many people sent in videos, Mark, for your 50th birthday?
Well, thanks for having me. It was unbelievable. I was all set to do, obviously, Bible study for Wednesday nights. And when I got there, they sat me down, and I want to say, it was unbelievable. Everybody who's somebody, from the commissioner to you to Chris Rock to Reggie to Kenny to Charles, to my guys with Jeff. It was absolutely incredible. And
that's awesome.
I sat there with tears in my eyes watching it.
I brought tears to your eyes?
Yeah, just it takes me back to when we first met and how you put me on to this wonderful, course of doing TV work. So,
do you blame me? Do you blame me for what happened to you?
I give you props, man. You saw, my ability to call games and be on TV, and you said I want that guy. So you made a heck of a choice. I would hire you as my GM if I ever owned the team, man, because your eye for talent is unmatched.
I remember when Mark came into ESPN, and management just didn't see it. They didn't like what Mark was doing. And I said, this isn't what he does. You got to get him where it's conversation. You got to get him in a game-like situation, bring out the competitor. And so when I started to host the NBA shoot-around, the NBA countdown, I said, look, I'd like to have Mark Jackson. They're going, why? And you were doing the Nets games at the time, right?
Absolutely.
And I said, I'll do it if Mark Jackson can be my guy. And they said, okay. And it was like it was on me. And I said, no, wait. And then all of a sudden, Mark was so good in studio, they put you on the NBA Finals. So I lost you. And I went, wait, nobody wanted Mark. Now everybody wants Mark. So but you did it on your own, your personality. And that's what I loved about, what you said. You weren't afraid.
Well, you're too kind. But I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, giving me a platform. And it has propelled a TV career that I'm extremely proud of and blessed to have.
All right, let me get to some items here. Take us back to when we had the conversation when the Warriors were thinking about trading for Kevin Love. How real was that possibility, and why at the time did you say you would not include Klay Thompson in any deal? You would not give up on Klay Thompson. He was too good.
Well, it was very real, and I'm only talking from an outsider because I was no longer part of the Golden State Warriors. So I can only go by what I know from pretty much both sides and everything that has been documented and talked about. And questions was asked of me, obviously, if teams are considering, at the time, I'm probably the best guy to call if you're any one of these teams considering making a trade with the Warriors to find out about the specific players that could and could not be involved in the trade. But at the end of the day, what I talked about was, Klay Thompson. The guy is an absolute, stud of a basketball player on both sides of the court. You don't have to worry about him. What he does on a nightly basis, you can pencil it in. He's an all-time great shooter. He's a big-time defender. He's a great, great competitor.
Is he better than Kevin Love?
Well, when I made the statement, it wasn't anything against Kevin Love. You're talking about a guy that was averaging 20-plus and 10-plus rebounds for his career and dominating the power forward position. It wasn't about him. It was about what Klay Thompson did on a nightly basis, how great he is, and how you can take what he does for granted. So that was my whole part of making sure that if it was me, I'm not including Klay Thompson in the deal.
I just don't understand what's going on in Cleveland, Mark. I know that they're playing well, and they may be the favorites to win it all. It just seems it doesn't seem like it's solid. It's something every single day. And I don't know if because it's LeBron and drama follows him or he invites drama. How do you assess the Cavaliers and what's going on? Now we're hearing LeBron calls all the plays, that Coach Blatt does not. That LeBron thought Kyrie Irving was a ball hog when he got there. Telling Kevin Love to opt in, not opt out. LeBron telling us how many friends he has. Wait, what is going on here?
Well, when you talk about the Cavs and you're talking about having the best player in the game, for some reason, just like in Miami and just like in Cleveland prior to that, we have people that's covering them on a daily basis. There's not people covering any other team as far as hired to give information every day. Now, there's people writing stories, but it's different when you talk about LeBron and the Cavs. I think what has happened is, they make up stories and they're searching for the next story. And it's true, but we're searching for the next story and we make more of it. It's not really a story, in my opinion, that LeBron James calls most of the plays. Do you think that I'm on the sideline? I mean, you look at the majority of the coaches in this league, you trust the point guard or the player on the floor to run your offense. You prepare them, and then you trust them. Now, there's situations where, okay, it's out of control. I'm going to call a set, or we're going to get a timeout. We're going to run something out of this timeout. Or there's days when you're not fluid offensively, and I'm going to control the game. But overall, you allow your best players to get a feel of the game and to run the show. So to me, that's not a story. But the other stuff, I think what they need, you've got to have some leadership that says, okay, this is not a good look for us, or this is not a good story, or let's leave that alone. Let's nip this in the bud. Too much is going on where they're overexposed and they're giving too much information. I really don't care if they get along or not. The bottom line is, are they performing as a basketball team?
They're not even. But I don't understand Kevin Love's situation, Mark. That he doesn't play in the fourth quarter.
I don't agree with that.
How is that possible that he doesn't play in the fourth quarter?
I mean, that's for them to answer. He's too great of a player to not play in the fourth quarter.
Is he that bad defensively? Is really that they're saying, hey, you can't play any defense, so you can't play in the fourth quarter?
I've had bad defenders. You work on it, you prepare them, and you understand game plan, discipline, and you cover for each other. I wasn't a great defender, but Patrick Ewing understood if he wanted to keep me on the floor, he had to block a bunch of shots as my guy drove by me, and I had to compete. So what you want is a guy to compete and understand the game plan and what we're trying to do. And I think Kevin Love is capable of doing that. He's too much of a talent on the other end of the floor. So you challenge him in front of everybody, and then you challenge everybody to be supportive on the defensive end with him, and then you need him offensively. You put him in pick-and-roll situations, you post him up, you use him as a trailer in transition. He's too good of a weapon to have on the sideline.
Best player, worst defender of all time is who?
Best player, worst defender. Man, I'm trying to think. That's off the top of my head. I don't know. Maybe me.
Well, no. You're saying so you're the best player who played the worst defense?
No, I'm trying to think. Can you throw out somebody, and I'll be sure. I got two dogs, so I'll call out.
Dominique Wilkins?
That's a good call. Dominique Wilkins would be my pick. Hall of Fame, Dominique Wilkins, top 50 ever, in my opinion. Statue with the Atlanta Hawks in front of their arena. And
what about Bird?
No defense.
What about Larry Bird?
No, Bird he wasn't a great defender. I remember him making, one of the all-defensive teams, and he went down as a good defender. He wasn't a great defender, but he competed and he challenged, and he understood the game plan. And on top of that, he did the video for me yesterday for my birthday. So no question, Larry Bird is not in that.
What did Bird say for your 50th birthday?
Well, he wished me a happy birthday, and he showed appreciation for my career and the way I conducted myself. So it was awesome to see him on there. And again, tears in my eyes, and I appreciate it, because it took me back to our time together, and also prior to that, watching him, respecting him, admiring him, and appreciating all of his work.
He's Mark Jackson, ESPN NBA analyst, joining us. Dan Patrick Show. Your MVP vote today would go to?
It'd be awfully tough. I think there's four guys in the discussion in LeBron, Westbrook, Curry, and Harden. If he twisted my arm today, I would probably vote for James Harden. And the reason why is because he single-handedly has put that Houston Rockets team in position that they're in today. It'd be tough. I think Steph Curry, I'm totally fine with. Obviously, he's my guy. I'm fine with selecting him. The season that he's had has been incredible. Westbrook with 10 triple-doubles and carrying that team injury-prone into the playoffs. LeBron being the best player in the world, but I think right now I would go with James Harden because of what he's done. And he stepped up his game defensively. He's not a great defender, but he's competing on the defensive end.
Did St. John's reach out to you at any time to be their head coach?
No, they did not.
If Mullen doesn't take it, would you have gone after it?
No. I mean, I think, in my opinion, they got a home run hire. Chris Mullen is a guy that's a brother. He's a friend of mine for life since our years in high school and early years at St. John's, obviously. I think he's going to do an incredible job. I'm happy for him. I'm proud of my school that selected quality, and I think they're going to do great. But that's not the job for me, and I'm happy that Chris Mullen got the job.
One more thing. We've talked about this off the record, but I want to ask you about it on the record. When you look at the home court advantage when it comes to stats, and there's been talk about this. I saw Jackie McMullen on Around the Horn talking about Rondo's assist totals and triple-double totals. And, you get that home court advantage. How prevalent is it when you're handing out assists that hometown scorer is going to give you a couple extra dimes?
I'm not going to say a couple of extra dimes. I think you get a fair assessment of whether that was an assist. You may get the tip rebound that you won't get on the road. So I think it balances out. I think,
okay.
The throw ahead, the one dribble pull up or the two dribble pull up, you may get that assist. Whereas on the road, a half a dribble you might not get. So I think both ways you can make a case. And I really don't want to in any way, shape, or form disrespect greatness or numbers all time. But I think when it's all said and done, it balances out home and on the road how the official scorer or the person in charge of handing out assists or rebounds, how they evaluate whether it is or isn't.
See, what you're saying is you think you got robbed and you probably should have at least 3 more assists and you would be in front of Steve Nash.
I mean, there's a side of me. I've been working out every day with my sons and even got my daughter out there because we needed an extra person to balance out the teams. But I'm trying to get somewhat in shape where I think I got 2 more assists in me, Dan. If somebody could just give me a 10-day, I can pass Steve Nash.
Could you play for the Knicks right now?
I mean, you could. And you still have your cap on.
What about the Lakers? Could you play for the Lakers right now, Mark?
Again, you could. I mean, this is. When you think about these are all-time great franchises, not basketball, and the level of play that they're having right now, it's somewhat embarrassing. I think the league needs those teams to be relevant and good, and it's been an exciting year. But I think it'd be much better if those teams were competitive But I certainly see you coming off the bench for either one of those teams, and I've seen that jumper. So I would sign you if I was one of them right now.
Well, you're a great analyst, Mark. Once again, you just proved it again. Happy 50th. Glad to take part in that, and I'll do another video when you turn 100, okay?
Man, it was awesome. Love and appreciate you. Thanks for everything.
All right, brother. Thank you, Mark. Mark Jackson from the Mothership.